Today's lesson is on the quotient rule. Yesterday we were doing the product rule, and now we're doing something similar, the quotient rule. So if you have h of x, if you have a function divided by another function, to take the derivative, it is derivative of the first times the second. Starts out the same as the product rule. This time it's minus the first times the derivative of the second. So far it's the same as the product rule, except we've got minus instead of plus. And then we have to divide by g squared. So this is something that we need to memorize, just like the product rule. Okay, so first example is h of x equals x squared plus 5x minus 2 all over x minus 4. So think of this as f, this as g. Let's write the quotient rule again. Derivative of the first times the second minus the first times the derivative of the second divided by g squared. So I'm going to off to the side. I've got the derivative of f is 2x plus 5, and the derivative of g is just 1. Okay, so derivative of f is 2x plus 5 times g, which is x minus 4, minus f, x squared plus 5x minus 2 times the derivative of g, which is 1, all over g x minus 4 squared. Okay, so let's simplify. Okay, we'll need to start by foiling here. 2x squared minus 8x plus 5x minus 20 minus x squared plus 5x minus 2. And actually, let's go ahead and just distribute that subtraction sign right now. So minus x squared minus 5x, and it will go to plus 2 all over. I'm going to just leave this as x minus 4 squared, and let's just simplify the numerator for now. So 2x squared, take away an x squared, is just x squared. This 5x minus 5x will cancel, but I still have minus 8x. And then negative 20 plus 2 is negative 18 over x minus 4 squared. So in theory, you'd always look to see if you can factor this in case it can simplify here, but in this case it does not, so we can leave it just like that. All right, let's do another example. H of x equals 3e to the x over 5 cosine x. So off to the side, I'm going to look at, derivative of f. That's an easy one. It's just 3e to the x. Derivative of g would be negative 5 sine x. My 5's and s's look the same, kind of, but okay. So now, derivative of h, I'm going to write it again. Derivative of the first times the second minus the first times the derivative of the second over the second squared. So derivative of the first, 3e to the x times the second, which is 5 cosine x, minus the first, 3e to the x, times derivative of the second, negative 5 sine x, all over the second, 5 cosine x squared. Okay, so let's see how we can simplify. Here I've got this 3 times 5, and then like a -3 times -5. So 15e to the x cosine x, that's going to turn into plus 15e to the x sine x all over 25 cosine squared x. And probably makes sense, I can factor out that 15e to the x. So 15e to the x, factor out, so then I've got cosine of x plus sine of x all over 25 cosine squared x. And you can simplify those coefficients, divide them both by 5. So 3e to the x times cosine x plus sine x over 5 cosine squared x. And that is, whoopsies, that is the final answer right there. Okay, let's do another example together, and then I'm going to have you try one on your own. This one is h of x equals 3x squared over natural log of x. So I've got f and g, derivative of the top is 6x, derivative of the bottom is 1 over x. So derivative of h, one more time, derivative of the first times the second, minus the first times the derivative of the second, divided by the second squared. So derivative of the first is 6x times the second natural log of x minus the first 3x squared times the derivative of the second 1 over x all over the natural log of x squared. This right here can simplify. Think of that as 3x squared over x, which would go down to 3x. And then I would factor out a 3x because I've got 6x and then this turns into 3x. So let's do that. Take a 3x out. So then I am left with 2 times the natural log of x minus 1 all over natural log of x squared. And that is the final answer. All right, for the example, I'm going to have you write this down, pause the video, and just try it. See if you can figure it out. And you can come back and see if you get it right. So 4x to the third plus 2x squared plus 3x plus 5 all over 4x. So pause the video and see if you can find the derivative on your own, and then come back and check your answer. So here's my first step, finding the derivatives and plugging them into the quotient rule formula. And now we got to simplify. So combining like terms here, I did factor out a 4, so I can simplify there and got this as my final answer. Okay, last thing is let's look at a table. So let's look at the x value at 2, and let's say if at f of x it's 5, the derivative of f of x is -2, g of x at 2 is 6, and the derivative of g at 2 is -3. So if h of x is equal to 2 times f of x over g of x, let's find the derivative of h. So I'm going to write this one more time. Derivative of f times g minus f times the derivative of g over g squared. And our goal is to find the derivative at x is 2. Okay, and then we have, don't forget about this 2 coefficient that will go with f. Okay, so derivative of f is the 2 coefficient times derivative of f is -2 times g is 6 minus f, we still have that 2 coefficient times 5 times the derivative of g, which is -3, all over g, which is 6, and then that is squared. Okay, so let's simplify this. Okay, -4 times 6, -24, minus, that's going to turn to plus 30 over 36. 6 over 36 simplifies to 1 over 6. All right, there is the full video on the quotient rule. Good luck with your lesson.